If you've just had your tea, or you might even be having a cuppa at this very moment, I want you to contemplate tea at £16 per pound. Not the kind of stuff that Dinny Byrne would be putting in a saucer down in Glenroe. You'll have to agree. Well, tomorrow in Bewley's, tea will go on sale at £16 a pound. It's called First Flush Darjeeling. And with me in studio, I have the chief tea buyer from Bewley's. He's also a tea taster and obviously a tea expert. His name is Owen Dawson. Owen, you're very welcome to Evening Extra.
Thank you very much, Ray.
Along with the tea expert, I also have just a plain old expert, Mr. Brush Shiels. Come in there, Brush. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to test 6 different teas, and we're going to see if Brush can spot the one that costs £16 a pound. Do you reckon you can do it? Owen, before we taste the teas, we have 6 teas laid out here now in front of us. Is there any other way? Can you tell tea by any other means? Can you? The
simplest way of telling any tea is by smelling it, obviously.
Smelling it.
So
I've already smelled it.
You've smelled all these, have you?
No, I have not told Shay.
And do you think you know which one is the £16?
I don't know, but I'm going to get an incredible buzz one way.
Do you think you spotted that?
I think I've a fair idea.
Yes, I'd imagine you'd probably know anyway, Brush, wouldn't you?
Well, I in a situation like this, I prefer not to, because I don't want to intimidate the people at home who prepared if I didn't know as much as I did. But I'll try and be right in a wrong kind of way, Shay.
Now, Owen, you have to do this all the time. You taste teas basically for a living. How many teas would you taste in a year, incidentally?
Oh, I had no idea how many tastes in a year, but...
well, in a day, what's the most you've ever tasted in a day?
I can tell you, when I was training many years ago in London, we would taste at least 500-600 teas a day, non-stop.
And would you be able to discern, really, after
no, you
2 or
wouldn't.
3 hours?
What you're trying to do, of course, is memorise taste. That's basically what you're doing, because tea tasting is essentially a matter of comparison compared with wine, which tends to be elimination. And what we're also trying to do, of course, is that after you've tasted too many teas, you start to get pains here from sucking in and spitting out.
There is a technique, of course, which you're going to try and demonstrate to Brush here.
Yeah, I can do it already,
Brush, can you?
Yeah, because I'm a teetotaller.
Yeah, and a sucker as well. Do you reckon you know different teas, Brush? Obviously, if you're a teetotaler, you drink a lot of tea, do you?
Well, usually, I hate to admit, it's tea bags at the moment. Well, like, I have a tea bag, but she's getting tired getting out of bed first thing in the morning and making it for me.
Now, Owen, what have you done here to prepare this tasting?
Now, I weighed each of these 6 teas, and by the way, these 6 teas are extreme teas. They are essentially speciality teas, but I did bring 2 bread and butter teas with me, but I'm not going to pretend what they are until we've taken it a bit further.
Okay.
Now, what I did is I weighed them up with the special scales into these cups, and I got freshly boiling water and then liquored the teas. I left them stand for 6 minutes. I'm now getting the infusion onto the lid, thus, and what's very important,
the bouquet.
That's it.
Now,
fruity little
and if anybody's wondering what this joke is, this is a very jazzy spittoon, and you'll see what that does in a minute. It has to accommodate the technical expertise of the 2 lads. And
there's a difference.
There's a different smell, indeed. Yeah,
completely different.
Yes,
completely different.
Yeah.
We'll nominate them now in a few moments.
That one actually was a bit seaweedy. Am I allowed to say that without insulting anybody?
Say anything you like.
That's different again. Yeah.
Far out, man. It's getting better all the time.
Somebody told me today that it looks like something we shouldn't be tasting.
Oh, and how long did it take you to actually become an expert tea taster?
Well, I was in London alone for just 2 years, but I think you're learning all the time. It's an extraordinary thing. The tea trade keeps changing, and you've got.
But there obviously is a kind of a training period where they deem you to be an expert after how many years?
They say 3 years.
3 years.
3 years, yeah.
That's a lot of tea. Now you're going to stir them all up, and you're going to taste them one at a time, are you?
One at a time. Now we have 6.
Well, will you taste first and then pass the same one to Brush?
Right. I'll use the same spoon, Shay.
I'll give you your own spoon.
Just use your spoons before.
Now, obviously, we have 6 different colours here, apart from anything else. I don't know if the camera can pick up the detail of the different
colours. Not really, but these 3 at this end are slightly darker, and
quite so.
Pale one here, and again they get a little bit darker.
I remember you giving one of those after the football match.
That's the technique, is that you have to suck very violently.
We suck it in so as it hits the palate.
Brush, here, I'll pass it over to you because I may not be able to reach.
What do you mean I suck in very violently?
No, just taste it any way you like.
Okay.
Just do what you think is best.
You swallowed a bit of a Brush.
A small bit, yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You weren't too nuts about that one. I'll just have a quick little taste of it. Pardon me. Quite bitter, that one. Okay.
Bitter, okay.
Let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
Go ahead, Brush. Here you go.
I'm just taking it out of my eye there.
You don't think that was the 16-pounder we just had there, no? Owen, what kind of prices would these teas sell for?
From £16 a pound down to about £1.30 a pound. is
What's so
we do.
special about the £16 one, by the way?
The 16, it's a rare tea. It's only produced at a certain time of the year. It's grown on the lower slopes of the Himalayan mountains. It's plucked for about 3-4 weeks, just about a couple of weeks ago, and it's going on now. They'll stop then for a few weeks. They'll recommence plucking for the second flush, and after that you can forget about it.
This is a bit
until
like
12 months
Beaujolais
again.
Nouveau, is it?
Exactly, and that is the very reason that we attempted to do something we'd never done before, why we had it flown into Dublin, because we were able to get in 3 months ahead of bringing it in by ship.
Very good.
That very reason.
Well, listen, before we run out of time, let's keep going here on these. Right, we're on to number 3 now.
We're on to number 3.
Yeah. Is your technique going to improve now?
This will be totally. This will be totally different.
How do we say? I don't want to go down and come all the way up there, right?
You're not enamoured of this. Owen, let's move along quickly.
Okay.
I don't want us to run out of time. Before we find out whether we know
I
that.
think I better tell you what they are. Will I?
No,
no.
we're not that short on time. I want Brush to go the full route.
I've had some of that in a Chinese restaurant once, but I
Quickly
think
through
there
the
was
last
something in
two.
it.
You're right, that is a China tea, isn't it? That last one.
It wasn't tea when I was drinking in the Chinese restaurant.
And you have one more to go, Brush. And then I'm going to ask you the crucial question. All right.
After you
I won't
won.
miss. I
I
won't miss.
trust you implicitly that you're always right about things. Brush, which one of the 6 you reckon is 16 quid worth?
I'd rather go for the second last one. Shay.
None of this either or. I
Well,
want one unequivocal answer.
the reason for it is I had a chicken curry before I came here today. No, that's not right. I'd rather go with the second last one here, or this one here, which has quite a nice smell of it, and it would sell very well, but mightn't be a great tea. I'd go for the second last
Is he
one.
right? Is it
He's
this one or
doing.
this
He's doing
one?
very well. He's doing very well.
Which one was it?
It is this one, in fact.
This one here.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to have a
Full
taste
marks,
of
John. Full marks. 10 out of 10.
Did I get it right on?
Yes, bang on.
I'll actually swallow it. Owen Dawson, thank you very much for coming into us evening extra. Brush, thank you for being such a wonderful and willing expert as usual.
I'll see you for a cup of tea. I'll see you for a cup of
Thank you
tea
very much,
afterwards.
Shane. Thank you very much.